Hello and welcome to another video from TrainingRite.com. In this video, I will be introducing you to Watir. What is Watir, which is spelled as W-A-T-I-R, and why is it used and how it is used to do our software automation testing. Well, to get started, Watir, which is spelled as W-A-T-I-R, is pronounced as water. I know. Now it's basically it stands for your web application testing in Ruby. So as it goes, it kind of like works much better with Ruby, and we just need to download that on your machine. Make sure that you set the environment, and once you set up the environment, then we can go ahead and then do some automation testing using Watir's WebDriver. Okay, to get started, we have to go into our command line and do a gem install for Watir WebDriver. So let me do that. First of all, let me see what kind of Ruby I'm running right now in terms of Ruby version. So Ruby-version should give me the version of Ruby which I'm running right now. And on my machine, if I need to run the Watir automation testing framework, then I need to basically download it, and that is done using the gem install command. So we will do gem install Watir WebDriver. So with that, it is going to prepare my machine so that it could do my automation testing using Watir. Okay, so as you can see, it is waiting for it to download, and as soon as it gets downloaded, actually on my machine I had downloaded it earlier, so you don't see the complete stuff. But once it gets downloaded, let us go ahead and then write a script that would show us as how to do the automation testing. So I will, first of all, I'm going to go and walk you through the test case that I'm going to run. That test case is going to be for our website, which is TrainingRite.net. And as you can see, if you scroll down here, somewhere here in the middle of the page, we have logging in to our website. So this is the test case that we will try to automate. And eventually, after we finish this working with the script as how to automate, in my next video I'm going to be showing you how to data drive it, meaning that I would be having tons of data in my Excel, and I will connect using Ruby code into Excel and bring the data and then pass it to our script. So we will do data-driven automation by fetching the data from Excel. But first of all, let's write a simple script. And the manual test case is going to be something like this. So I'm going to be logging in with my phone number and the password. The phone number is 732-998-6650. That's our phone number for our company, and the password is the word password. When I click on submit, as you can see, it logs me in, and it gives me some details in here. It says that displaying information from automation testing resource management system for the following phone number. That's the phone number, and then it does recognize that phone number belongs to me, and then it gives me access to it. All right, so that's the happy path scenario, or the best case where we enter the right phone number and the right password. So let's say if I go in and enter some weird password, and if I click on submit, then what I see here is it is still welcoming you to the TrainingRite student portal, but it says, hey, we are sorry, no matching profile found for this particular username. All right, so that's going to be our test case that we are going to automate, and then later on I will be doing data-driven testing in another video as how to do that. So for us to get started, I must have some tool for me to write the Ruby code. So you could basically go and then use Notepad, which you all probably already have on your machine, or you could be using tools like Notepad++, or you could be using some tool like Ruby Mine. So in my case, I would be using my Notepad plus plus. So if you go in here, that's the shortcut I have on my desktop. I open this, and I'm going to write some code here. All right, so let's get started. The first thing is I need to download the Ruby gems. So that Ruby gems that we need to download would be coming from, hold on for a second, please. All right, sorry about that. I had to attend that phone call. All right, so we were talking about writing this script where basically we would go ahead and then do some automation testing using Watir. Now that we have prepared the environment, we have downloaded the Ruby gem for the Watir WebDriver. We will go ahead and then write this script. Over here, what I'm trying to do here is with this require statement, any file that is missing, this file would go ahead, this script would go ahead and then download that. So over here I'm saying require Ruby gems, and then we also require your Watir WebDriver for this script to work. So what else? These are almost like import statements, so if you are coming from a Java background. In this case, right now, I think for what I am doing, these two would be more than enough. If I am doing some automation where I'm driving the script from an external repository like in Excel, then I need to have another gem, but right now let me just save it quickly. Let's see, we are saving it in a C drive in a folder called Ruby code, and I will call it Watir web testing .rb as in Ruby file, right? The extension here is txt, so that's why I enclosed that in the double quote here. All right, okay. So now that we have the required statements, let me just go ahead and then instantiate the browser object. So I'm gonna say obrow, right, equals Watir, so what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to go ahead and instantiate an object from this Watir API. So from here, from this package, from this class, from this package, Watir package, I am instantiating the browser class, and I'm calling the constructor of this browser class. And while I do that, I instantiate that, and I'm creating an object called obrow. Now, to the constructor, I could also say that the type of the browser that I want is, let's say, Firefox. Now, your Watir would work for, it supports the WebDriver, supports Firefox, Chrome, Internet Explorer, Safari. All those browsers are supported using this WebDriver API or Watir, but in this case I happen to choose Firefox. So this line is going to basically create that object for me. All right, now that I have the browser object, what do I do with the browser object? So I would say that, all right, browser object, obrow, I want to go to, where do you want to go? I want to go to this site, right? www.TrainingRite.net. Okay, so that's the site where you want to go. And then after going to that site, what do you want to do? According to our test case, I should be able to go and then enter a phone number. So if I write a comment, that would be enter phone number into the text box. All right, so that's basically, I have to write the code for that. Now, in order for me to enter a phone number, and the phone number that I want to enter is, let's say, 732-998 6650, right? So that's the phone number. So I want to enter that phone number into that text box. Now I need to identify, I need to find out what that text box is, right? So now there are a couple of things that I could be doing. I could be using because this is an Internet Explorer browser, so I could be using the developer toolbar that would give me access to the properties of this element. Or I could even go with Firefox, and if you have done any work in Firefox, let's say, for instance, if you have worked in Selenium or things like that, then you know that you can identify the attributes of any element on a page using a tool called Firebug. So I could be using a tool called Firebug and then identifying the things in there. If I need to find out like which particular object I need to know, I could do that. So this I could do, or I could also in here hit F12 and try and find out any particular element. So if I need to find out this particular element, so I would say I would go and then click on this element, and then it tells me things about that element. So if you scroll down here, it tells me that the attributes of that element, which is a text box, is txt phone, and the ID is txt phone. So how can I programmatically enter something into this text box whose ID is txt phone, or whose name is txt phone? So the name and ID are the attributes of this text box. So in order to do that, I will say, okay, browser. So obrow dot the field here is text field. So I would say text underscore field, and the way I'm going to identify that particular element in here, the way I'm going to identify this element is using its attribute called ID, right? So it is ID equals txt phone, right? Okay, so the way I write the code is I would do a colon ID, and I will do this, and I would say that the ID of that is in single quotes. I would say txt phone, right? So that's how basically I need to identify this object. The object is a text box, and I'm identifying that. And once I identify, I'll use what is called a set method to enter a text. And what I need to enter in here is this phone number. So that is entered using a single quote. So that's that. All right. Okay. So if I do a Control S, I would have saved it. Now, so far I have done this. I said that, okay, I need to use a Firefox browser, and using that browser, I need to navigate to this website, take me to that website. And once I go to the website, I want to identify one of the text fields with its ID being text phone and set this. And once you do that, the next thing is we need to set something in here. So let us identify this element. The way I'm going to identify this element is just go here, click on that, and look into the attributes of that. The attributes of that again is name is txt password, ID is txt password. So what do I do now? So basically it is the idea here is I need to enter the password. I need to enter the password, and the password that I have is the following. So that's the password into the password text box. Password text box. This is the phone text box. Okay, so this is a comment. In comments in Ruby are mentioned with the hash sign or with the pound sign, and the code for that would be obrow, which is the browser dot. It's also a text field. So text field, and I said text file, text field, and this again can be identified by it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was txt password. I'm going to come back here and type txt password, and what do I want to set on that? I want to set that password with my password, which happens to be this. All right. Okay. So I did that. Next thing is I need to go and do what? I need to go and then click on this submit box. I need to go and then click on the submit button rather. So in order to find out what are the attributes of the submit button, again, I just come in here, click on the submit button, and let's take a look as what are the attributes of the submit button. As you can see, the name of that is BTN submit. And we have some other attributes like class and ID, language, on-click, type, and value is submit, right? Okay, so I'm going to do it slightly differently this time. I will identify this object or this element with one of the attributes, which is the value. So let us see how we write that code. So over here, click on the submit button. That's what I am supposed to do, and this would be the code of that. So I would say, oh browser, do what? Browser, you go and then find a button, and that button, the attribute, the way you're going to find that button is whose value is what? Whose value is what was the value attribute of that? If you see here, the value attribute of that was right here. Oops, this submit, right? Submit. So I'm just going to come in here, whose value is submit. Submit. Okay, what do I do with it, right? Browser will identify that button whose value is submit. I need to go and then click on that. Beautiful, we have done that. Right? Okay, so if I had manually done this, right? So I enter 732.998.6650, and I enter a password, and I click on it. So what does it happen? If you see here, it is going to, if two scenarios could happen. Either I could log in successfully, or it won't, if the password or username is wrong, then it won't log me successfully. So let us write some code to check if we are logged in successfully or not. So how are we going to do that? What I'm going to look for is on this page, if I see, let's say, the phone number shown up. If I see the phone number shown up, that means that, okay, it's successfully logged me, right? Let's look into the other scenario. If I type something, and if that is not a valid one, now nowhere the phone number shows up, and it is saying, we are sorry, no matching profile has been found, right? So let's say if I see we are sorry, no matching profile found, that means that the test case failed, right? I mean, I shouldn't be saying the test case failed, but we were not able to log in successfully. All right. So let us see how we are going to do that. So what I'm going to do here is I will look for something like this on the browser. So if I do obrow, right, obrow on the browser, if I am looking for some text, right, if the text includes what? This, right? If the text includes this message, what is the message? Let's say, let me put something in here, and go here. So if it says, we are sorry, no matching profile found. So if I go back and say that, if this is the text, right? So I have to say that this is the condition now. This is the condition. So for me to write the if statement, I would do if this is the condition. This condition is true, right? If that condition is true, then I want to do something, right? I want to do something. And the way if ends is with end, with the keyword end. So if this condition is true, meaning that browser text include shows, if on the browser, if the text shows is this, that means that I want to say the following. I want to say puts, and I want to say that could not log in successfully, or could not log in, check user name and password, right? Or check your credentials, right? test, let's say test failed, something like that, right? Okay. Else, what is the case? That means that logged in successfully. So else puts logged in successfully, right? Test passed, right? Okay. Put that in here, save it. Okay, so let's quickly check what we did here. We instantiated the browser object of the type Firefox, and that we did by looking into this Watir API, and in there there's a browser class, and for the browser class we call the constructor of that and pass to it the type of the browser. So this OBrow is a Firefox browser right now. So with the Firefox browser, I want to go to this website, TrainingRite.net, and after that I want to go into and then set on the text phone, this one, and then set the password as password, and then click on the button. And once I click on the button, it'll go to the next page, and then it'll look for this text: "We are sorry, no matching profile found." If this comes, that means that I cannot log in. That could not log in, right? Check username, password, or check credentials, right? So whatever you want, check user credentials, test fail. Else, we want to pass the test. All right. Okay. Makes sense. Now, we might have some issues we might face where if it is too fast, then when we click on the button, after we click on the button, it immediately would look for this, and maybe the browser has not loaded at that time. So it's always better to have like some wait in here, right? And how do you manage wait? Basically, using your Watir, we would say that browser, we want to manage what? The timeouts. We want to manage the timeouts, and we want to put an implicit wait for. We want to put an implicit wait here, implicit wait of, let's say, 5 seconds. All right. So with that, we would put an implicit wait of 5 seconds. Okay. Now, I think I'm all set, all good to go. Let us bring up the command line and let us execute this script. So I know I have saved this script, save it into my Ruby code, which is in my C drive. C drive Ruby code, and then we have this Watir web testing Ruby. So I basically would be navigating there, cd dot cd dot and cd Ruby code, and let me run that script. So Ruby, run for me Watir, right? Watir web testing, Watir web testing, 1 second, web testing .rb. All right. Now, if everything is right, if everything is good, it should open up a Firefox browser, and then it should do the following. It should basically go and open up TrainingRite.net and put in that text field 732998, and then put in the password, the word password, click on the button, implicit wait for 5 seconds for it to load, and then check if the browser includes "we are sorry, no matching profile." If "we are sorry, no matching profile," then it would say here could not log in, check user credentials, test fail, right? Else, if everything is good, so it should say log in successfully, test pass. So I'm hoping to see this one because I have given the right username and the password. All right, so let us run it and then see what happens. So here we go. We hope to see the browser pop up and do the following. There it is, TrainingRite.net. It's gonna go in there. Now, you know what? It would be better if I maximize the browser. Okay, there it is. So everything is good. Logged in successfully, test pass. Right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is, it was too fast for me to see, and also I wanted to maximize the browser. So when do I want to maximize the browser? As soon as it opens this, I would like to go and then maximize the browser. So I would say O brow, right? Then I would say dot driver dot manage dot window, right? Dot maximize. Okay, with that line, I'm hoping that the window gets maximized. So F3 to repeat my command and hit enter, and the browser would open up, and it would go ahead and then about this point it should maximize now, and there it is. Entered that. Okay, there it is, and then what we see here is logged in successful test pass. All right. Okay. So what we will do is we will just to prove everything is right, I'm just gonna change this password to let's say bad password, right? Save it and run this code again, and this time it should because it's a bad password, this would pop up that no matching profile found, and it should say could not log in, please check your credentials. So all this time it was saying logged in. So let's do that. So the browser should open up any minute, and TrainingRite.net, and maximize the browser, and go ahead and then put in the password and click on that. We are sorry, no matching, and as you can see, could not log in, check your credentials, test failed. Well, so that is it as far as this video is concerned, and in my next video what I will be doing is I'll be showing you as how we could go ahead and kind of like use Excel to parameterize it, right? So we will be parameterizing it, connecting to Excel, and then fetching the data from Excel and passing it as variables here, and that way that Excel sheet is going to drive that. So it will be a data-driven test that we'll be covering in our next video. Now, if this is something which you like, then we would suggest go ahead, look into this course, Ruby Watir Cucumber RSpec Capybara software testing course, and you would find a lot of things that we are covering as a part of this course, particularly Cucumber and Capybara and all that are very interesting. So look into that. All right. Okay. Thank you again for being here and watching this video, and we hope to see you in another video sometime soon. Okay. You have a good one.